Hi guys, it's Vivian the Somm Next Door. Welcome back to my channel. So, if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, the Somm Next Door, check it out. You would know that I cannot drink alcohol for the next few days, which is very, very sad. So we have a different type of episode planned. I am not gonna be drinking wine. I know, but don't worry. You can watch some old episodes where I'm drinking wine, and there will probably be plenty of new episodes when I'm drinking wine. But today we're gonna be talking about what makes wines different. What makes a Sauvignon Blanc different than a Chardonnay? What makes a Chardonnay grown in France different than a Chardonnay grown in California? I have props today, guys. Be excited. So, wines are made from grapes. Grapes, fun fact, were my favorite fruit when I was a kid. Probably still are, which is like so ironic or not ironic. There are over 10,000 different types of grapes. So besides the fact that some grapes are white and some grapes are black, that's what they call them. I think they just wanted opposites. As you can see, this is not a white grape, and as you can see, this is not a black grape, but that's what they call them. So besides the color, what makes them different? Especially for red grapes, when they make the wine, they leave the skin on with the juice. The skin provides aroma, color, tannins. Tannins are super important because they provide structure. It provides a bitterness kind of similar to like espresso or dark chocolate. And tannins are also important because they help a wine be able to age longer. So some grapes have more tannins than others. For instance, Gamay and Pinot Noir have less tannins, and then Cabernet Sauvignon and Nebbiolo have more tannins. Some grapes are more aromatic. For instance, a Gewürztraminer, it has like a lot of tropical fruit flavors like lychee and floral notes. And then there's some grape varieties that have more acid in them. For example, Riesling. Knowing how some grape varieties have certain characteristics will help you when you pick out different wines. So there's a lot of factors that impact the wine in your glass. We divide them into viticulture, which is the wine growing process, and viniculture, which is the wine making process. As you can see, I am not a grape grower. I'm sure there are other people who know a lot more than I do, but this is, just a basic overview, guys. In order to produce good wines, you need to have good grapes. So where and how you grow these vines will impact how the grape tastes. Now, one of the biggest factors is soil type. It's been studied over thousands of years which grapes like certain soils better. And what it really comes down to is water drainage. For instance, Cabernet Sauvignon in Médoc prefers gravelly soil because it provides better drainage. In addition to soil types, it's climate. So most grapes are grown between 30 degrees and 50 degrees latitude. During the ripening process, a grape starts out very, very acidic. And as it ripens, acidity goes down, sugars increase, and the tannins will begin to mature. Wine growers are trying to find the perfect time to balance the sugar and the acid. Why? Because sugar is really important because that's what gets converted into alcohol. And alcohol is important because it provides body to the wine. But we don't want so much alcohol that like this fruit is overripe and it's like now really heavy, not that tasty. And then acidity is really important because if a wine doesn't have enough acidity, it feels really flat and dull and it's just not refreshing to drink. So if you have too much heat, the grapes will be very small and have thicker skins, and that'll lead to a more alcoholic and tannic wine with low acid. Now, if it's too cold and the grapes are not ripe, then you'll be left with a wine with too much acid, little sugar, and little flavor. So those are the ends of the spectrum, which is why ripeness is very important to find that balance. So ideally, a wine grower would like the grape to stay on the vines as long as possible. So if the average timeline for a grape is like 120 days, and you get a slightly cooler season so that elongates the wine growing season, then that's ideal versus a really hot season and then the grapes get ripened in a shorter amount of time. That's less ideal, because the longer the grapes are on the vine, then the more complex and different flavors that you get. Now, within the 30 to 50 degree latitude, there's so many different mesoclimates and microclimates. And why does that matter? You could be in a very cold place, for instance, the Mosel, Germany, and because they're on these really steep slopes, they get as much sunlight as possible, and that allows them to ripen and produce wine in such a cold area. Another example would be like in Napa Valley. Napa has such an interesting mesoclimate. It has lots of different mesoclimates actually. So near the south of it, that's closer to the bay, it's actually the coolest. Whereas the more north you go around Calistoga, that's actually the warmest area. So because being near a body of water, it tempers the weather fluctuations and stabilizes the climate. There might be less wind in this area because the trees are blocking it, or this hill gets more sunlight. So all those little factors can produce better grapes. So that's why sometimes if you have an area that's really, really good and they specify that area, the wine is a little bit more expensive. Now, what does oak do to a wine?